Hey guys, in this video I'll show you exactly how I created a YouTube thumbnail from scratch using Google's Nano Banana image model. I'll show you how I went from this prompt and few images to this thumbnail, and this thumbnail has got over 6.8% CTR on YouTube, but the initial results were very poor. I got this, then I used ChatGPT and got this, and I faced multiple roadblocks, and there are a lot of learnings to it as well. So I'll share everything, so next time when you are using the LLMs to create these images, you'll know exactly what steps to follow. So let's quickly go to Google Gemini. Now my initial idea was to follow a similar format that I saw online when posting this type of thumbnails for such videos. So my initial idea was to show myself as well as the laptop and have some text on this as well, right? So I told Gemini, I'm working on a YouTube video thumbnail. I want you to use my image and then show me surprise with my mouth and eyes wide, because I want to tell ki, hey, this browser is insane, this browser is very good. And I wanted it to basically show just my head, bit of my neck alongside the laptop, and I've shared a comment screenshot basically, right? So when you give all this, it gives you this. Now this again in itself is kind of usable, especially when you're starting out and you don't have a lot of time to spend on it, right? This is perfectly usable, and I love how it is kept my face very good. Same thing if you try on ChatGPT, you'll get a result which is very good in the sense of crispness, clarity, but it won't look like you. And I think with Nano Banana image model, I think that is the best part, right? It keeps the character very consistent, right? So you are consistent throughout. Now here what I wanted was, obviously this mouth widening etc looks too much for the thumbnail. So what I did was I asked Nano Banana image model to, hey, can you change my shirt? I want the mouth widening not so much, right? So it changed it to blue again, which was pretty bad because I don't want it to be the same color as the background. So what I did was, hey, can you zoom in a bit? So what I wanted was to bring the laptop on the side, as you can see in my original image, but for some reason it couldn't give me, and all my tries of just changing things kind of failed. So the best part, what I felt was, you need to tell a prompt saying, hey, revert back. That's the best thing you can use, because once you get in this loop, you won't get it. So like what I mentioned is, keep the face same as the second output you gave me, reduce the whitening a bit. So I was referring to this. Again, referrals also don't work, because I like this image. Just a little less of mouth widening would have worked, but it didn't work out for me. Then I told Gemini to kind of reduce the lower teeth and make it a more complementary color. Again, it failed. I again gave it the image and then told, and this time the aspect ratio was messed up. I tried again, the aspect ratio was messed up. I kind of bought the laptop where I wanted this behind, but it didn't work for me. Again, this one was another funny output, and sometimes it will give you even very random outputs, right? Like this one. Yeah, so what I did was I thought just changing it will make sense. So what I did was, the second image which I generated before was the most apt one. So again, I told, hey, can you make the laptop zoomed in and front on vision? It should be behind. And it did a pretty good job here. It kind of followed the output. So another learning would be to create a new thread itself, because sometimes it will hallucinate and give you whatever. And this was good. Now I wanted to change this text, which I did. It did well. And then I wanted to reduce the mouth widening. For some reason I wasn't able to do that. And then I think I told it to change the t-shirt color, and I think it did. But here, as you can see, it kind of messes up the font as well. So I think this output was something where I wanted, and again, I think I tell it to, hey, can you make the eyes point to the right side? And I think it finally did. So this was one bearable output that I wanted to use. Now, when I finally decided to use this thumbnail, I encountered another problem, which was the aspect ratio. So YouTube, it asks you for a 16:9 thing, right? Now, because how this image is, you can see my shoulders here. There is no way I can center align this image, right? And the only way was, and again with the background etc., one way was to zoom in it a bit more, but I didn't want to go to this process, right? That's when I understood that I need these elements separately. Again, I mean, somebody who's a designer would understand this. So my final tip would be to create elements separately so that you could play around with it, because for simple corrections, ChatGPT or Gemini for that matter does a very poor job. For example, I gave it this thumbnail and I wanted it to make it better, and in ChatGPT what I liked was the images were very crisper. The only thing is obviously the characters are inconsistent, right? So and ChatGPT is very off in terms of what kind of results it gives you. So one thing what I wanted to do was to I really like this laptop versus Gemini's laptop. So what I did was I created another this thing, and here I have the laptop itself, right? Now I wanted the image. So for that, what I did was using Google Gemini, I had a previous image of mine, which is this image. So I uploaded it to Google Gemini and asked it to kind of change my appearance a bit, right? So here I've uploaded my image, and I'm trying to kind of change my look a bit. So I first told Gemini to change the t-shirt, then I went on to the hoodie. This hoodie was looking good because it kind of complemented my blue background a bit, right? So then what I did was and I told it to make it a little more surprised, which it actually does. It does a very good job here, but the only thing was when I told it a little more, it kind of went a little overboard, which I didn't like. So I got this image. Again, you can try multiple things. You can have a more formal look to it. You can ask for a side angle as well. Again, it kind of does a okayish job here. So what I did was I downloaded everything. I got the laptop from ChatGPT, and then I got this thing from here. Now this font and all I added. So that's the best part, because when you have the elements with yourself, you can adjust it, right? And with the background, what I did was I used ChatGPT again. I gave this a screenshot from the Comet browser's webpage, and it gave me this. This was pretty good, but then I told, can you make it a little blue? And that's how I've added this as the background. So finally this came along, and this performed really well, especially from when you see we went from this to something like this is a pretty good job, I'd say. So yeah, I mean, this was a quick walkthrough video. Again, I'm no expert. This was my initial learnings. So yeah, what I'll suggest is if you're doing anything with your faces, anything, stick to Google Nano Banana image model. It does a very good job. Again, you would like to create different avatars of yourself and then repurpose it. That will be good. Again, there are other models as well, which kind of works upon Google Nano Banana image and model and then does it. That does a pretty better job. But yeah, I mean, and again use elements so that you could play around with it, right? So for example, in this example, I can play around with this image as I want. Same instructions you give Google Gemini or ChatGPT, it'll hallucinate and it'll waste a lot of your time. So this is my few initial thoughts about the model and how you can use to create a YouTube thumbnail. I hope you like this video, you found this video useful. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.